If you ask 100 random X-Men fans to name one black mutant, the first name you're going to hear from 99 out of 100 is going to be Storm. And for good reason, she's one of the most famous black and or female characters ever created in comics. And if you're not paying that much attention, she may look like the token black person in the X-Men universe. But actually, that's not the case. There are plenty of black characters in the X-Men universe. They're just not as high profile. So in this video, we're going to look at other black X-Men besides Storm and help raise the profile on some very deserving characters. I'll also give suggestions on what actors should play them in live action. Alright, let's go. The most obvious black X-Men other than Storm, of course, is Bishop. But there's some questions about this character's ethnic background based on his official origin. So just hold your horses and I'm going to come back to him later. That brings us to Darwin, a mutant character you might have heard of from his controversial appearance in X-Men First Class. In the comics, his first appearance was X-Men Deadly Genesis #2 from 2006. His real name is Armando Munoz and he's Afro-Latin. He has the mutant ability of reactive evolution, meaning he has the ability to adapt to any situation to survive. Say for example, you try to hold him underwater to drowning and he'll develop gills. Shoot him with a magma blast and he'll just do this. So he's virtually unkillable. So what did Fox do to him in his first live action appearance in X-Men First Class? Kill him. Of course, they killed him. It's Fox. In his short appearance in the movie, he was played by this actor, Eddie Gaffagi, a Kenyan-born actor. His character demonstrates to the other X-Men First Class just how unkillable he is, but Sebastian Shaw shows up and puts the explosive in his mouth, which kills him, which is a terrible plot development for this movie. Not only do you stupidly kill a character that's supposed to be unkillable, you're repeating the tired cliche of the black guy in an ensemble cast be the first one to die. In the X-Men live-action reboot, I would cast actor Terrell Hill to play him. He was born in 1994. He has many credits like Judas and the Black Messiah and other small roles, but he deserves something better. So giving Darwin when they reboot this character. That brings us to Heather Tucker, also known as Tempo. And this is a character that's desperately in need of a design upgrade. Her first appearance in comics is New Mutants #86 in 1990, where she's a founding member of the Mutant Liberation Front, a terrorist mutant organization so extreme they make the Brotherhood of Mutants look like Boy Scouts. Tempo was very valuable to the team because she possesses the mutant ability to manipulate time fields, allowing her to create localized time bubbles. In other words, she can speed herself up and slow you down. I would say that's pretty valuable in battle. They tweaked her costume just a little bit, but it's still kind of wonky. Come on, Marvel, it could be way better in this. The character has a lot of sass and is outspoken. Here she is with Boom Boom in a hilarious panel demonstrating her powers. Comic panels can't really capture what she does. It would look cool in live action though. For casting this character, I'd pick Keke Palmer, and I think it's a no-brainer. Based on her image and who the character is, I think this is a perfect fit. Tempo has not appeared in live action yet, but I got the perfect actress for her. Keke Palmer all the way. And what appears to be coincidence, she's already dressing like the character. Next up is Everett Thomas, also known as Synch. He's a mutant with the ability to mimic and synchronize his powers with those of other mutants in his vicinity. So this allows him to temporarily use the powers of other mutants, which is pretty freaking cool. His first appearance in comics was X-Men Volume 2, #36 from 1994. In 2023, Marvel put out this really cool cover of him with claws. And yeah, I think he's a very interesting character that they should be using a lot more. If I had to cast an actor for this role, I'd probably pick Corey Hawkins. He was great in 24 Legacy, he played Dr. Dre in Straight Outta Compton, and Harpo in the Color Purple reboot. He'd probably need some weight training to get more jacked for the role, but he'd be perfect for this. Yeah, Corey Hawkins is your Synch all the way. Next up is Edie Okanako, also known as just Oya or Third Light. She has the mutant ability to control and manipulate temperature, so she can generate extreme heat or extreme cold at the same time. Her first appearance was in Uncanny X-Men #528 in 2010. For most of her publication history, she's been portrayed as not being able to completely control her powers. Her story is the opposite of Storm. In Storm's homeland of Kenya, she was literally worshipped as a goddess of the weather. But in Oya's homeland of Nigeria, they tried to kill her because they thought she was a witch. Oya has the potential to be an extremely powerful mutant. You're talking about somebody who has the power of both Pyro and Iceman at the same time. If I had to cast this character, I would pick Lovey Simone. She was a real standout in the drama Greenleaf on Own. I think that Marvel could develop this character more by having her be a sidekick to Storm and have them bond over the distinction of them being black female mutants from Africa. Third Light's pretty cool. You should be using her more, Marvel. Next up is David Allen, also known as the Prodigy. He's a mutant with the ability to absorb and retain the knowledge and skills of those around him. He was introduced as a member of the New Mutants and made his first appearance in New Mutants Volume 2, #4 in 2003. He's a pretty obscure character that I've always liked, but they've always made him look like a Poindexter type of character. Like a true Blerd come to life. Like somebody took the smart guy and mixed him with Steve Urkel and put him in the X-Men universe. You have an avatar that's the champion for the Blerds. And I got just the actor for this character. That would be Dallas Dupree Young. He was born in 2008 and his breakout role is Kenny in Cobra Kai. He was playing a shy young teenager that was getting picked on and joins Cobra Kai to get some confidence, and he becomes evil. If they ever did this character in live action, I don't think he would be a major character, but he would be interesting in a small role. Next up is Cecilia Reyes. She's a medical doctor who possesses a force field generation ability, which she uses to protect herself and others in combat situations. She made her first appearance in comics in X-Men number 65 in 1997. In the comics, she's depicted as being an Afro-Latina being of Puerto Rican heritage. Her skills are very much needed and in demand in battle, since she's so good at trauma surgery, and the level of devastation in a superhero battle has to be devastating. She's still practically unknown to the general public despite being involved in some very major storylines, such as Operation Zero Tolerance and The Five Lights, Fear Itself, Dawn of the X. She's in all of those, playing a significant role. In casting this character, I would pick Alicia Pascal Pena. She's a real-life Afro-Latino actress of both Dominican and Puerto Rican blood, and she's bilingual. Her claim to fame is as a cast member of the reboot of Saved by the Bell. It only ran 2 seasons, but she did a great job as a new character named Asia Garcia. So yeah, I think Alicia should play Cecilia all the way. Next up is Joanna Cargill, a character also known as Frenzy. She's a black female mutant that possesses superhuman strength, speed, agility, and durability. She was first introduced in X Factor number 4 way back in 1986 as a member of the Alliance of Evil. So most of her history, she's been depicted as a strong woman villain. In terms of personality, she's fierce and very aggressive. And the actress I think should play her isn't even an actress, she's a professional wrestler. And that's going to be Jade Cargill. You may have heard some buzz on the internet about fans hyping her up to be Storm, but with Jade's lack of acting experience, I think that Storm is too big of a task for her to handle. A one-note strong woman villain like Frenzy is much better. And don't forget about the coincidence of the name. Frenzy is Joanna Cargill and the pro wrestler is Jade Cargill. I'm not making this up. You could put her on the Brotherhood of Mutants fighting next to Mystique as the muscle of the group if you think the Blob is too goofy looking. So yeah, Jade Cargill was born to play Frenzy, so go ahead and cast her, Marvel. Next is Nesno Abedima, also known as Gentle. He is a mutant that hails from Wakanda, and he has the power to increase the muscle mass of his body to extreme levels. He makes his first appearance in New X-Men Volume 2, number 23 from 2006. As for his muscle expansion, he can only do this temporarily because if he does it for a long time, it could cause seizures due to the massive strain on his body. He's called Gentle for a reason. He's very calm and passive. However, he will use his powers in emergencies. To play him, I would pick Kofi Siriboe. He's an African-American actor of Nigerian descent. His breakout was as a young stud in the movie Girls Trip, and he also had an ongoing role in the TV show Queen Sugar. He's already a big guy, but they could use CGI to make him even bigger. So if they did use him in live action, it would be a small role for cost and not bust the budget on a small minor character. But I'd still like to see it, and Kofi is a good pick for this role. Next up is Monet St. Croix, sometimes just known as M. She's a mutant with superhuman strength, speed, durability, flight, and enhanced senses. She also has enhanced healing to recover from any injury. Her first appearance in comics was Uncanny X-Men number 316 in 1994. In the comics, she's the product of a rich and eccentric black man from Monaco. It's a rich, tiny nation on the tip of southeast France, and her mom's from Algeria, so she's supposed to be an exotic, multiracial character. The character has black in her, so that makes her black. Don't look at me, I don't make the rules. When she first showed up, she was a member of the teenage mutant group Generation X, and her character has been depicted as a practicing Muslim. In live action, I would pick Sierra Capri to play this character. She's an Afro-Latin actress who had a breakout in the Netflix show On My Block, which ran for 4 seasons. Very pretty girl and great actress. Monet would be the role of a lifetime for her. There's some very weird backstory and continuity to this character, which has been all over the place, so Marvel needs to make up their mind on how they're going to use her. Next up is Roxanne Washington, also known as Roxy or just Bling. She has the mutant ability to generate and project crystalline spikes and constructs from her body. And although she's a young African-American woman, she's always depicted as having this purplish, rocky form. Her first appearance in comics is X-Men Volume 2, number 171 in 2005. She's portrayed as a new mutant recruit that was discovered by Emma Frost when she was teaching at the Xavier Institute. The crystalline spikes can be used as a weapon, of course. It's projectiles on offense or creating barriers of armor on defense. The character has also been depicted as being a lesbian, so she's an LGBTQ character. Here she is kissing Jubilee, who was not expecting it. For casting this character, I would pick Eris Baker. She had an ongoing role as the character Diane in KC Undercover, and received critical acclaim in the TV show This Is Us, in which she plays a teenage girl who comes out of the closet as being gay. I think that experience would be crucial in casting her as Bling, who is a gay character. And by the way, Bling is not the same character as Blink, who can manipulate teleportation portals. I just wanted to clear that up before people went crazy in the comment section saying I don't know what I'm talking about. We're talking about Bling right here, and I do know what I'm talking about. Alright, let's get into the more controversial aspects of this video. As we discuss Roberto da Costa, also known as Sunspot. He's a founding member of the X-Men's first first true spin-off comic called The New Mutants, making their first appearance in Marvel graphic novel #1 in 1982. Of course, the ongoing New Mutants title after that. And the controversy is he a black character or is he not a black character? He's definitely supposed to be a dark-skinned Brazilian, but does that make him actually black? Well, actually yes, because his father is supposed to be a Afro-Brazilian businessman and his mother is a white American archaeologist. So remember the rule, if you got any black in you, you're black. The only issue is this, take a look at all of these images of Sunspot. He's been depicted so many different ways in Marvel Comics over the last 40 years. When he's depicted like this, he looks like a dark Latin guy, but if he's depicted like this, he looks like, an Afro-Brazilian, which he actually is. What added to this controversy was the live-action New Mutants movie, where he was played by a Brazilian actor named Henry Zaga, who does not look Afro at all. And this pissed off a lot of people because it didn't look like they were being true to what this character was supposed to be in his depiction for the comics. In saying that, the character has the mutant ability to absorb and convert solar energy into human strength, durability, and flight. If I was casting this role, I would pick Samuel Nascimento. He's an Afro-Brazilian actor born in 1990 with an ongoing role in a Disney show in Argentina called Violeta. His casting will allow Marvel to stop whitewashing Sunspot. Finally! And as promised at the beginning of the video, we're coming back to the man, the myth, the legend, Lucas Bishop. Most comic fans, especially African American ones, just assumed he was black, like as in descendant of sub-Saharan Africa black. Well, he's black, but not quite the black you think, because his official canon biography at Marvel is he's the descendant of Australian Aborigines. These are the people that are native to Australia before the white people showed up, and this is what they look like. If you never actually heard this official origin of Bishop, this is probably blowing your mind right now. His origin is too detailed and complex for me to discuss here. I made a full video about this in the past called Is Bishop Actually Black? If you don't see the link here, then you can see it in the description. We all know about Bishop. He made his first appearance in Uncanny X-Men number 282 back in 1991. He has the power to absorb all forms of energy and convert it into concussive blast. In the comics, he was first introduced with this mullet-looking type of hairstyle, but over time he's been depicted as having a shorter hairstyle, which looks Afro-kinky, which defines him specifically looking like a black man. And in his only live-action appearance in Days of Future Past, the movie, he's played by a black actor named Omar Sy. He's a French actor that has his roots in Senegal, Africa. In saying that, I would cast a black actor to play him. My pick would be Trevante Rhodes, who made his debut in the movie Moonlight. He also had a role in the reboot of the Predator film. He was born in 1990, he's 6 foot and has a very athletic build, and he showed a lot of skill as an actor. I think he could pull this off. Let me know what you think. That brings us to Shard Bishop. She's usually just known as her first name, Shard. She is the sister of Lucas Bishop and she can weaponize light particles. And the M across her eye, just like her brother, and that they were raised in a mutant concentration camp in the future, and this is how they marked mutant. Her first full appearance in comics was Uncanny X-Men number 314 in 1994. Also like her brother, she was a member of the Xavier Security Enforcers, or the XSE for short. The purpose of this team was to find and train young mutants to protect the dream of the human-mutant harmony created by Charles Xavier. This character is often depicted as having blonde hair, which is actually pretty common in native Australians. Here are some young Aborigines with natural blonde hair. Shard is Bishop's sister, but she has no precedent on what she's supposed to look like. So if you wanted to cast an actual Aborigine woman, you could. For Shard, they could go with Mia Madden. She is a biracial Australian actress who has Aborigine and white blood in her. Mia is a very pretty woman and a great actress. She's not very well known in America, but she's in big demand in Australia. I think Shard would be a good fit for her. That brings us to Gateway. This is a mutant who has the ability to create teleportation portals to allow instantaneous travel between locations. He's a character that they never show speak, and he rarely communicates with others. Instead, he uses his powers to open up gateways to different places when prompted or directed by others. He made his first appearance in comics in Uncanny X-Men number 229 in 1988. He too is an Aborigine, and he's from the Australian outback. The way he's been depicted in his whole history, it's pretty clear that he is from an Aboriginal background, as he looks like a native Australian shaman. The Australian actor David Gupilli would have been perfect for Gateway. He was famous for appearing in Crocodile Dundee. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2021. I was thinking, since the Gateway character does not speak, they don't have to cast an actor. They could actually cast a real-life Aboriginal shaman and call it a day. It could work. Gateway is important also because he's been confirmed to be an ancestor to Bishop and Shard. There's rumors of Storm being an ancestor as well, but that's not been confirmed. But a lot of X-Universe fans want it to be. We'll see what happens. Next up is Eden Fezzi, also known as Manifold. This character has the mutant ability to manipulate manipulate reality through space folding, which allows him to teleport himself and others across vast distances. So sorta like Gateway, but not quite the same. He made his first appearance in comics in Secret Warriors #4 from 2009, where his reality warping abilities were introduced. He too is supposed to be an indigenous native Australian. Manifold was involved in the intergalactic Empire Wakanda storyline. He was a member of a Sword's mutant sub-team called the Six, and also appeared in X-Men Red. So he is a significant player, but he's not very well known outside of comics and those real hardcore X-Men fans like myself. He doesn't have a blood connection to Gateway or the Bishops either, although he has native Australian roots like they do. If I had to pick an actor to play him, I would pick Mark Goldsmith. He's an Australian actor that has real-life indigenous Australian roots. He's not very well known in America, but he's very much in demand in Australia. Okay, that's about it for today. Here's a recap of all the black mutants from the X-Men you may not have known about. Darwin, Tempo, Synch, Oya, also known as Third Light, Prodigy, Cecilia Reyes, Gentle, Frenzy, Monet St. Croix, Bling, Sunspot, Bishop, Shard, Gateway, and Manifold. So yes, there are other black mutants in the X-Men universe besides Storm. To X-Men fans that want to know more about black superheroes within this universe, I hope this was helpful for you. Are there other obscure black X-Men characters that I left out? Be sure to speak up in the comment section. If there are decision makers at Marvel that are watching this, I gave you some good casting options. I hope you take them. If you missed it, I made a previous video called The Top 10 New Black Superheroes. This is a list of characters that were created after the year 2000. And a lot of them on the list have had an opportunity to headline their own title and be a lead character. Hopefully going forward, Marvel will let more black mutants besides Storm and Bishop be leads as well. Until next time, this is Comic Killer 72 for Comic Power saying bye-bye.